Okay, good morning and welcome to the Quick Wins for VAs 15-minute Thursdays. I'm doing this through Restream and I just want to make sure that it's working because it should be connected to Facebook, and I just need to make sure it's live, and it is. Yay! The only issue is whether or not I'll be able to see anybody's comments, because that's the constant problem that I have. Let me just make sure the sound is on. Okay, so, right, one moment. Okay, I'm going to just ask my assistant Kirsty, colleague Kirsty, to very quickly join to make sure that everything's working okay. But anyway, it's short, so I don't want to delay too much of your time, and you can play this back as well. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So this is going to come at you every single Thursday, 12:45 till 1. With the aim to just give you some quick wins for the day to really help you in your virtual assistant business. There's so much noise out there. There's so many people saying so many things. It can be really hard to know what's the right thing and what isn't. So I'm going to talk to you today, and every time I come on, about different things that are happening in the market, in the trends right now, that can really help you. Things that I've been through myself, things I know through training, through experience, that can support you in your business. So let me just ask Kirsty to come on. But if anyone is here, just let me know. It would be great to see that in the comments, but the comments just are crap. They don't always work for some reason. I'm just going to ask Kirsty to comment. Okay. Righty ho. Okay, so let me dive in. Today I want to talk to you about the big things that have changed this year and are changing. It's already it's already in motion. So if you want to get ahead of the changes, you need to be putting these things into action right now. I'm hoping you can hear me. I am going to open another Facebook tab just to make sure that you can see. I can see the comments. It's just rubbish. Anyone's a Facebook expert, let me know, because it is not my bag. I can tell you that now. Okay. Right, I'll try it this way and see if I can see people answering from checking in from here. Okay, so this is exciting stuff. It used to be that, and I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna be really blunt, really honest. That's who I am. That's how I approach things. So if you don't like it, I'm not for you. But I try to be open and honest with everybody, and I do wear my heart on my sleeve. If you're new to meeting me for the first time. So if you are a solo VA right now and you have gone down this corporate looking route, so you've gone out there, you've created a magnificent website, you've got a beautiful logo, and you're calling yourself something like, I don't know, Elite VA Services. If you are a solo VA in 2026, it's not going to work. The reason is people are buying from personal brands right now. So much so that CEOs in massive organizations are hiring in strategists to humanize the CEO. So CEOs are now having to step outside of the shadows and come into the light and show who they are. And the reason is, I've just attended a strategy day. It was absolutely amazing. So some of this is what I've just recently learned. Some of it I've already been talking about for months now on the VA Live Lounge podcast. But one of the things I learned is that we're currently in a trust recession. So what does that mean? It means that people don't trust companies anymore. They're more likely to buy into people, but there's still a trust recession there. So in order to get people to trust you, they need to know who you are. And if you are a solo VA and you're trying to act like a company, those days are gone. So I would urge you, if that's what you're doing, go take a look at your profiles and make a change. You can still be admin specialist, but use your name. So for me, it would be something like Lisa Tennant, Tech VA. So you need to be the brand, and stop trying to build a big corporate looking company that's ultra professional. Unless, of course, you are developing yourself into an agency, you're going to be taking on a team. That's fine. You can still have a company name then. However, people will still want to know about you. You're the owner. Now, if you follow me on LT Business Management, my agency Instagram page, you will see that I am constantly putting myself out there. There was once a time that if you went right through my feed, you'll see that I wasn't, because I felt like that wasn't professional, and I was putting more corporate stuff up. And luckily, without even realizing it, over the last couple of years, I've been developing my personal brand. So much so that I had a telephone call with my accountant recently, who I've just sacked off. That's another story. And she said, "Oh my God, your personal brand is amazing. I see you all the time. You're all over LinkedIn." And it's so incredible to hear that. Part of developing your personal brand is being brave enough to talk about the things that are important to you and not being scared about that. So it used to be that your primary messaging was about what you do, how you help, who you serve. Now that's still important. Secondary messaging was more a little bit about, what you stand for, what's important to you, your ethics. But secondary messaging is more important than ever now. So what does that mean? It means that you need to tell more of your story. You're going to have to start being more open. So for me, it's things like the fact that I was bullied. It's things like I've been screwed over. It's talking about how I put my house on Airbnb, moved into a caravan, traveled the world, homeschooled my boys. It's showing what's important to you and what you value, because people want to know about that. And that is how you're going to break that trust factor. That's how you're going to build up trust. I also need to tell you that another important change, apart from the personal branding side of things this year, is niching, you being the niche. So we talk all the time about how important it is to niche as a VA. And the reason is this: most VAs start out with the premise that they need a website, they need their branding, they need their social pages set up, and then they can start thinking about getting clients. It's totally the wrong order to do things. And I've got a group program coming up for new virtual assistants that teaches you the right order. But I'll give you a sneak peek. The right order is none of those things. They come later, okay? The most important thing is, before you even nail your niche, is figuring out who your ideal client is. Only when you know who your ideal client is can you know how to market to them. And then you should develop your personal branding on the back of that, because now you'll know how your colors should be, how your logo should be, what your website should look like based on who your ideal client is. If you don't do that first, you have to redo it all. But now you becoming the niche is really, really important. And I give this example. I started my first business in 2004, and back then there was no social media or anything like that, and it was a side hustle, ironing, so that I could bring in some extra income. And then one day I got a telephone call, and it was from a wedding event supplier that delivered chair covers to wedding venues, and they needed about 100 or so laundering and ironing and then returning. I only had a little car at the time. If they say fake it till you make it, I did a lot of that back then. And so I said, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And then I quickly realised there was a gap in the market because nobody else was doing this. The only other option really was places like laundrettes, and they weren't going to do your ironing for you. So whilst the laundry was okay, they weren't, you'd still be left to try to iron it and deliver it. So I did the first batch, and I thought, okay, I got some leaflets printed because, like I say, no social media back then. And I started to post them out to wedding events, suppliers and events companies. And it blew up. So I became the niche. Even though I was niched into an industry, it didn't matter. Anyone could have done that. But I became the niche because I had a particular skill set that I could do this. I could do this service where I could launder, iron and deliver speedily what they needed. And I could do that because I then developed the business further. I had a van that was customized, a large van with rails, so we could hang up all the covers and get them delivered. And this was way before anyone else was doing this. I don't even know if anyone else is doing this. So I became the niche, and that meant I became the person people talked about. Oh, you need that service, you need to go speak to Lisa. That's what becoming the niche is all about. Now, to become the niche, it means that you have to develop your particular skill set, and that skill set makes you the niche. Now, I don't want to give too much away because I've got a webinar on the 27th of January, 5 till 6 p.m., where I am going to talk to you about nailing your niche under the new changes. And you can register for that. I'll drop the link below, but you can register for that. Just drop me a DM if you're not sure. Go on Instagram. It's the links in the bio. In fact, it's under events. So on the events section of this page, yeah, go there. The link's there for you to register. It's completely for free. It's 1 hour. And I'm going to go more in depth on how you can nail your niche. So I just wanted you to understand that this year, you becoming the brand, the personal brand, is more important than ever. Now, if you struggle to put yourself out there, because video is important, but it's not the most important. So whilst video is important, because it means people stay on your page for longer, and then the algorithm can see that, it doesn't have to be the be all and end all. If you really hate it and there's no way you're going to get past it, and what I would say is I was the same when I started out. Now I'm doing videos all the bloody time. You can't get, rid of me. Do stories. So if you do stories on your Instagram feed, then do them with polls included, asking people questions. It can be about anything. It can be about their favorite flavor ice cream. It can be about what they gave their dog for dinner. It doesn't really matter. It's about the engagement, because then that's another way to hack the algorithm. Now, that's only if Instagram is your playground. So if you've worked out your ideal client and they aren't on Instagram, stop wasting your time on Instagram. If they're on LinkedIn, well, who knows at the moment with the LinkedIn algorithm? It's all over the bloody place. What I have found seems to be working really well on LinkedIn right now is static posts. I know people are talking about video on there, but video seems to only, in my opinion, be working well if it's a video of an event and you want to be nosy behind the scenes. So anything that you can nose at, but talking head videos, I'm not sure are as good, depending on the subject. Static posts, which aren't these jazzy ones we're seeing on Instagram with text all over them, just a picture of you. The first line, the hook, then drop it 2 spaces, because you can't see that on an Instagram post, LinkedIn post, and then talk about things. Keep it short and spaced so it's chunked and easy to read. They're working really well at the moment. So I want you to go away today, and I want you to write down what your particular skill set is that you could become niched in. Are you a tech VA? Are you an AI VA? What could make you the niche? I want you to think about your personal brand. What is your story? So what's happened to you to get you to where you are now? It's okay to talk about that. What values do you hold? What's important to you? What do you stand for? And talk about that more when you post. In fact, talk about it as often as you can, and track what's working and what isn't. You're nothing without your data. So track what is working, what isn't, what posts are performing well, what aren't. Be following your ideal audience so that they will follow you back, and they'll start to see what you are doing. And on LinkedIn, that's making connections. So I want to invite you to the Nail Your Niche webinar on the 27th, where we can go into this in a bit more detail so you can understand a little bit more about what you've got to do. And I will be back next week to talk to you a little bit more about the things you can do right now to get clients as a virtual assistant, because I am telling you, it's all changed. It's not like it was last year or the year before. I'm just going to check to see if there are any questions before I sign off. But I hope that's been useful, even if you're playing this back. But if you can, try to join live on Thursdays, because it gives you the opportunity to ask questions as we're talking. Right, let me just see. Have we got anything here? I don't think so, but who knows with bloody Facebook. Okay, right. Thank you so much for watching this back. I hope it's been of use. Head to the events. You can see all the upcoming events for the year. Well, maybe not all of them yet, because Kirsty's busy putting them on. As always, if you need any help with anything, just drop a post. Remember, this page isn't for me to post all the time and for Kirsty to post all the time. It's for you to post stuff as well. So please post. And have a great day. See you next week.